In the deepest vaults of Windsor Castle lies a tiara so magnificent it could have crowned an empress. Queen Mary knew this. She also knew that wearing it would have been the most natural thing in the world. It was, after all, created by her beloved husband's grandfather, Prince Albert himself, as a symbol of imperial majesty. But she never touched it. Not once in over 40 years. This isn't a story about forgotten jewels gathering dust in royal vaults. This is about the impossible choices that defined a reign, the personal sacrifices hidden behind public duty, and the magnificent tiaras that reveal more about Queen Mary than any crown she ever wore. When Queen Mary died in 1953, she left behind the world's most spectacular jewellery collection. Over 200 tiaras, necklaces and brooches that had taken her a lifetime to assemble. The public had seen her in dozens of magnificent pieces across 5 decades, each one carefully chosen to project imperial power and royal authority. But here's what shocked even palace insiders. Hidden in the royal vaults were spectacular tiaras, each worth millions, that she deliberately chose never to wear. Why would a queen who understood jewellery's power better than anyone ignore such magnificent pieces? Some of these tiaras carried dangerous political messages. Others held painful family memories. A few were simply too beautiful for a woman who had learned that being queen meant choosing symbolism over sentiment, the needs of the monarchy over the longings of her heart. In this video, we'll explore the extraordinary stories behind Queen Mary's most beautiful rejections, the tiaras that taught us the hardest lesson about power. Sometimes the greatest strength lies not in what we choose to wear, but in what we choose to set aside. The Oriental Circlet, Prince Albert's vision unworn. Let me tell you about the cruelest inheritance a queen ever received. Picture this. It's 1901, and Queen Victoria has just died after 63 years on the throne. Among the treasures she leaves behind is a tiara so extraordinary it seems to capture the very essence of the British Empire at its zenith, the Oriental Circlet. Created in 1853 by Prince Albert himself, this wasn't just jewellery. It was a love letter written in diamonds and gemstones. Albert had designed every arch, every lotus blossom, every Mughal-inspired curve to celebrate Victoria's role as Empress of India. The original featured Victoria's beloved opals, 2,600 diamonds surrounding those mystical stones that seemed to hold fire within their depths. But here's where the story takes a tragic turn. When Queen Alexandra inherited the circlet, she was terrified. Not of its beauty, but of its stones. Alexandra harboured a deep superstition about opals, believing they brought misfortune to their wearers. In 1902, she made an unprecedented decision. She had every precious opal removed and replaced with rubies from the royal collection. The circlet was reborn, transformed from Albert's opal dream into a ruby masterpiece. And when Queen Mary inherited it in 1910, she received not just a tiara, but a symbol of everything the monarchy represented: imperial power, Eastern mystique, and the weight of empire itself. Yet Mary never wore it. Not to the 1911 Delhi Durbar, where it would have been perfect. Not to state banquets with Indian dignitaries. Not even for private portraits where its magnificence could have been captured for posterity. Why? Because Mary understood something that others missed. This tiara wasn't just beautiful, it was a political statement. In an era when the empire was beginning to shift, when questions about imperial rule were growing louder, wearing Prince Albert's vision of Eastern dominance might have sent the wrong message at the wrong time. Instead, Mary made a choice that would define her approach to royal jewellery. She preserved the circlet's beauty while protecting it from controversy. Her restraint transformed a potentially problematic piece into a treasured heirloom, waiting for the right moment to shine again. That moment came in 1937, when her daughter-in-law, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, chose the Oriental Circlet for the coronation. After 35 years of patient waiting, Albert's masterpiece finally found its perfect moment, worn not as a symbol of imperial dominance, but as a celebration of artistic heritage and royal continuity. Queen Adelaide's Fringe, when tradition becomes a burden. Sometimes the most painful gifts are the ones that come with invisible chains attached. In 1830, Queen Adelaide received a magnificent diamond fringe necklace created using stones from King George III's collection. It was a symbol of royal continuity, connecting the new queen to the great monarchs who came before her. When Victoria classified it as an heirloom of the crown, it became more than jewellery. It became a sacred trust. Queen Alexandra embraced this legacy, wearing the fringe with characteristic flair. She even cinched it around her waist for Edward VII's coronation, proving that royal tradition could be both respectful and creative. But when Mary inherited the Adelaide Fringe in 1910, she faced an impossible dilemma. Here was a piece steeped in royal history, blessed by generations of queens, carrying the weight of dynastic expectation. Wearing it would have been the most natural thing in the world. Yet Mary wore it only once, in a 1913 portrait that captured both its beauty and her discomfort. The fringe, magnificent as it was, represented something Mary couldn't embrace. The idea that her style should be dictated by the past rather than shaped by her own vision. In 1919, Mary made a decision that shocked the royal establishment. She commissioned Garrard to create an entirely new fringe tiara using her own diamonds and her own design. It was a quiet revolution, a queen choosing to create rather than simply inherit. The old Adelaide Fringe was quietly retired, its diamonds perhaps repurposed, its legacy preserved in photographs and memory. Mary's new fringe became iconic, worn by 3 generations of royal women and famously breaking on Queen Elizabeth II's wedding day in 1947. But here's the remarkable truth. Mary's rejection of the Adelaide Fringe wasn't about disrespect. It was about evolution. She understood that royal tradition must grow and change to remain relevant. By creating something new while honouring the past, she ensured that the concept of the royal fringe tiara would endure for generations. The Ladies of England Tiara, love dismantled for legacy. In 1893, 650 women across the British Empire came together to give Princess Mary of Teck the most heartfelt wedding gift imaginable. They called themselves the Ladies of England, and their gift was a tiara of unprecedented versatility. It could be worn as a crown, a necklace, a corsage ornament, with its central element detaching into a brooch. This wasn't just jewellery, it was a physical manifestation of love from her future subjects, a symbol of the bond between the monarchy and the people. The young Princess May wore it with pride in those early years, understanding its emotional significance. But when she became Queen Mary in 1910, everything changed. The delicate, versatile piece that had suited a young princess suddenly felt inadequate for a queen facing the challenges of a new century. The world was changing rapidly. Suffragettes were demanding votes, the empire was evolving, and the monarchy needed to project strength and stability. Mary made one of the most controversial decisions of her jewellery career. She had the Ladies of England tiara dismantled. Imagine the emotional weight of that choice. This wasn't just breaking apart a piece of jewellery, it was dissolving a symbol of love from 650 women who had believed in her future. Yet Mary understood something profound. Sometimes preserving the spirit of a gift means transforming its physical form. The diamonds from the Ladies of England tiara were reborn as the Gloucester honeysuckle tiara, created for her daughter-in-law Princess Alice in 1935. The pearls found new life in Mary's famous Lover's Knot tiara, which would later become one of Princess Diana's most iconic pieces. Mary's decision was vindicated by history. the lover's knot tiara became a symbol of royal glamour, worn by Diana with such grace that it captured the world's imagination. Today, when Catherine, Princess of Wales, wears it, she carries forward the love of those 650 Victorian women, transformed but not forgotten. The County of Surrey Fringe, a wedding gift sacrifice. The story of the County of Surrey Fringe tiara reveals the most painful aspect of Mary's collecting philosophy. Sometimes love means letting go. In 1893, the County of Surrey presented Princess May with a diamond fringe tiara for her wedding. It was almost identical to a fringe necklace Queen Victoria had also given her, creating a beautiful matched set. Mary wore the Surrey Fringe in her early years, even choosing it for an official portrait in Ottawa in 1901. But as her collection grew and her understanding of royal symbolism deepened, Mary began to see redundancy where others saw abundance. Why keep two similar pieces when their combined beauty could create something entirely new? The Surrey Fringe met the same fate as the Ladies of England Tiara. It was carefully dismantled, its diamonds repurposed for greater glory. Some stones went to create the Gloucester honeysuckle tiara, while others were used to replace the pearl toppers on Mary's beloved Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, giving it extra sparkle and grandeur. This wasn't destruction, it was transformation. Mary understood that jewellery, like monarchy itself, must evolve to remain relevant. The Surrey Fringe's diamonds continue to sparkle today, not as a forgotten wedding gift, but as integral parts of tiaras that are still worn and celebrated. The Teck Rose and Crescent, a mother's memory, too sacred to touch. Sometimes the most beautiful gifts are the ones too precious to wear. The Teck Crescent tiara carried a story that reached back to Mary's childhood. Created around 1863 for her mother, Princess Mary Adelaide, from diamonds inherited from Princess Mary, Duchess of Gloucester, it featured 21 diamond crescents interspersed with wild roses, a celestial garden captured in precious stones. Mary had grown up seeing this tiara on her beloved mother's head. It had graced her parents' wedding, shone at countless court functions, and represented everything Mary associated with maternal love and family heritage. When the tiara came into Mary's possession in the 1930s, she faced an impossible choice. Here was a piece of extraordinary beauty, perfectly suited to her taste for historical jewellery. Yet wearing it would have felt like stepping into her mother's shadow, claiming a legacy that belonged to someone else's memory. Mary made a decision that revealed the depth of her emotional intelligence. She never wore the Teck Crescent publicly. Instead, she quickly passed it to her daughter-in-law, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, ensuring it would continue to live and shine while preserving its connection to her mother's memory. The Queen Mother first wore the tiara in March 1939, giving it new life while honouring its heritage. The piece that Mary couldn't bear to wear became a treasured part of the next generation's story, proving that sometimes the greatest gift we can give is knowing when to step aside. Queen Mary's Diamond Bandeau, the hidden masterpiece. In 1932, Queen Mary commissioned what would become one of the most mysterious pieces in the royal collection, a sleek Art Deco bandeau designed to showcase the County of Lincoln brooch she had received as a young bride. This wasn't just any tiara. It was Mary's personal vision of modern royal style, featuring 11 flexible sections of diamonds that moved like liquid light. The design was revolutionary, clean, geometric, thoroughly contemporary. It represented everything Mary had learned about jewellery design over 4 decades of collecting. Yet she never wore it publicly, not once. Why would a queen commission a masterpiece and then hide it away? The answer reveals something profound about Mary's character. By the 1930s, she was in her 60s, a dowager queen whose public appearances were becoming less frequent. The sleek, modern bandeau represented a style that belonged to a younger generation. Mary understood that this tiara wasn't meant for her. It was meant for the future. She was creating a legacy piece, a jewel that would wait patiently for its perfect moment to shine. That moment came 85 years later, in 2018, when Meghan Markle chose Mary's hidden masterpiece for her wedding to Prince Harry. The world gasped at the beauty of this new tiara, not realizing it had been waiting in the royal vaults since the 1930s. Mary's patience had been vindicated. The tiara that was too modern for her era became the perfect choice for a 21st century bride, proving that true style transcends time. The crown of sacrifice. These 6 magnificent tiaras reveal a truth about Queen Mary that we rarely acknowledge. Her greatest strength lay not in what she chose to wear, but in what she chose to set aside. Each unworn tiara represents a different kind of sacrifice. The Oriental Circlet, the imperial past she helped transform. The Adelaide Fringe, the traditions she evolved beyond. The Ladies of England Tiara, the love she transformed into legacy. The Surrey Fringe, the redundancy she eliminated for greater beauty. The Teck Crescent, the memories too sacred to claim. The Diamond Bandeau, the future she preserved for others. But here's the remarkable truth. By refusing to wear these tiaras, Mary didn't diminish them. She elevated them. She transformed them from mere jewelry into symbols of wisdom, patience, and the long view of history. Look at what happened when she finally released them. The Queen Mother's radiant smile beneath the Oriental Circlet, Princess Alice's elegant grace in the Gloucester honeysuckle, Meghan's modern beauty in the Diamond Bandeau. Each piece found its perfect moment because Mary had the wisdom to wait. Queen Mary spent over 40 years teaching us that true power isn't about taking, it's about knowing when to give. These weren't forgotten jewels gathering dust in royal vaults. They were seeds carefully preserved, waiting for exactly the right moment to bloom. In the end, perhaps these untouched tiaras tell us more about Queen Mary than all the crowns she did wear. They remind us that behind every symbol of power stands a human being who understood that the greatest gift a leader can give is ensuring that those who come after have something beautiful to inherit. The crown she never wore was the crown of sacrifice itself, invisible, unadorned, but more magnificent than any tiara ever created. What treasures in your own life are you preserving for the right moment? What sacrifices are you making today to ensure tomorrow's possibilities? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if this journey through the hidden chambers of royal history moved you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more stories of the extraordinary choices that shape our world. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones hidden in the shadows, waiting for their moment to catch the light.